I started seeing this guy about 3 weeks ago. Let me be clear, we have known each other for a long time because he was a friend of my cousin. He asked me out few weeks ago and I said yes. I have known him since I was like 15. I also know his family too because our moms were colleagues. So, anyway, he came to my house 5 days ago to pick me up because we were having a picnic date. I was in the living room watching a kids show, Phineas and Ferb. I really like this show. I have been watching the reruns since I was a kid. This cartoon had a huge impact in my life. I still watch it whenever my mood is off so that I can still cling on to the innocent child inside me. I was laughing at a part. And he was standing next to me. He was a little confused judging by his expression. He asked me if my nephew was in the house. I told him no. Then he asked me who is watching cartoons since all of my family members are adults. I told him I was watching it. And I really like this cartoon. I then proceed to tell him that I still watch this particular cartoon because it was a part of my childhood and I have some good memories linked to it. He told me it is really embarrassing and ridiculous. I asked why. He told me that I am a 24 years old woman. Why am I watching something kids watch and I need to grow up? It really bothered me. I don't think there is an age limit to watching cartoons. Since that day he would make fun of me. Whenever we go to restaurant he would jokingly order from the kids menu. He would talk to me in baby voice as if I am a kid. Whenever I tell him to stop he would say "Oh, Lil Op got mad? How cute." And sometimes even use phrases like "young lady." It was really frustrating. Today we went to a party, his friends were there too. I was meeting them for the first time. He introduced me and said to his friends that he needs to be locked up because he is technically dating a minor. He then tells them how I still watch cartoons and they all laughed. Some of them find it awkward. He also made fun of my height too. I am 5 feet 4 inches and he is 6 feet 1 inch. He proceeds to shuffle my hair like people do on kids. I got mad and told him it's funny how he makes fun of me being a kid, yet he still needs his mommy to do his laundry. His smile just wiped out of his face. I further said well at least this kid knows how to keep herself clean and know how to drive unlike him who failed the driving test 2 times. The room went silent. Later when I got home, I got calls from my cousin that I overreacted and embarrassed him in front of his friends. And he was right to make fun of me because who the hell watches cartoon when they are adults? I told her I am not interested in entertaining boys who feels like they can make fun of anyone they want but when someone does the same they act like little babies. I guess that is it. Probably the shortest relationship I have been on. TLDR, a guy I was seeing made fun of me because I watch Phineas and Ferb in front of his friends. So I gave him the taste of his own medicine. Now he is pissed. Mini update, well my cousin again texted me. She told me he was upset and after the party he went home with his girl best friend and spent the night there. She wants me to apologize because apparently I am letting a good guy slip. Well, let him slip. Slip inside a volcano. This just happened last night. I was out to dinner with my boyfriend and before the server took our order, I went to the bathroom. When I got back to sit down, my boyfriend's phone was open on the table and I happened to notice a message from someone with red hearts. I honestly at first thought nothing of it. I wasn't even trying to look at his phone, it just happened to be right there. I'm not a jealous person, he's never given me any reason to think he's cheating and we have a very healthy relationship. I do however struggle with intrusive thoughts and trauma from people burning me in the past. I've been in therapy and I've made a lot of progress and haven't had any major episodes in a long time. But when my boyfriend immediately picked up his phone and says I have to text my boss real quick I started to panic. I tried to tell myself I was being irrational. He literally could have had to text his boss and just remembered at that moment and the hearts could have been from his mom for all I know. So I told myself to let it go because like I said, he's never given me a reason to doubt him and we've always had a very trusting relationship. But for some reason every single thing he said and did after that sent me into a spiral. I started rapidly switching between thinking I was being irrational for no reason whatsoever to thinking he's secretly a narcissist. Eventually it got to the point where I was on the verge of tears. And not because I genuinely thought he was cheating on me, but because I could feel myself spiraling and it was upsetting considering I hadn't had an episode like this in years. I didn't want to say anything to him cause I felt stupid, but knew if I didn't talk to him about it, it was going to eat me up inside, regardless of how irrational I knew my thinking was. So I told him what I saw and how I was feeling, and he immediately grabbed his phone and showed me every person he's talked to today. But it turned out that the hearts were actually on a text from me. Before I went to the bathroom I had texted him my order so that he could tell the server if he came while I was gone, which I completely forgot about. Yeah, I'm a fucking idiot. I apologized 100 times and told him I truly didn't think he was cheating, but I definitely let the intrusive thoughts win that time. He wasn't upset and we laughed about it and had a great rest of our night. TLDR, I glanced over at my boyfriend's phone and saw hearts and thought he might have been texting another girl, only to find out that the hearts were from me. Edit, I was not expecting this to blow up like it did. I know that's what everyone says lol, and it's kind of overwhelming trying to respond to everyone. But I wanted to say thanks to everyone that had something kind and supportive to say and that understood that this was a case of solid communication and not straight up accusation. I was just trying to tell a funny story and most of you got that, so thank you. I also wanted to clarify for people asking how I forgot so quickly that I sent the hearts. I didn't just send the hearts as I was walking to the bathroom, only my food order. The hearts were further up in the texts from earlier that day. I should have specified that. I am quite forgetful regardless though. A couple years ago we got new next door neighbors. We have 2 little boys and our youngest son is 9 months older than their son. Our kids have so much fun playing together, and they really are such a nice family. We are always friendly, but we have super busy lives, so most of the relationship is with the kiddos. They invited us to their wedding, to which we responded yes for the 4 of us. I woke up this morning to social media posts congratulating them on their wedding, and she updated her last name. It dawns on me, we were supposed to be there and had completely forgotten all about it. I never added it to our calendar. I found the invite on the fridge hidden behind a bunch of kids' artwork. There it was in black and white. Wedding date Friday the 13th. How did I forget that date? All I can picture is a half-empty table where my family was supposed to sit. Everyone remembers those people from their weddings. I feel like the biggest jerk ever. TL, drive. I was working from home and went downstairs to the kitchen to make a cup of tea. I'd been concentrating on work and took the opportunity to briefly switch off and rest my mind for a bit. As I was walking down the stairs I wondered what it would be like to slap someone across the face. There was no particular reason or context to this thought. I could just have easily wondered what it would be like to fill some wellies with tomato soup and walk down the street wearing them. My wife was in the kitchen making her lunch, and without any consideration or thought, as I walked in I straight up asked her, "What would you do if I slapped you across the face?" She replied to say that's very mean, started crying, and left the room. I'm going to take from that response that she wouldn't be too chuffed if I did slap her. Still not on proper speaking terms, I've got some making up to do. For the record, I've never slapped her, or anyone for that matter, and have no intention of ever doing so. TL, Doctor, I asked my wife what she would do if I slapped her across the face and she started crying. So, on Christmas Eve morning we were both up early. She was about to go do some last-minute shopping. We had a mutual couple that we were friends with. They broke up, and I reply back with, well, maybe if they would have been honest with their partner, maybe that wouldn't have been a thing. I guess she thought this was me tipping my cap that I know something that I didn't. She looks at me with a lot of deep sadness and sincerity and says, yeah, I guess you're right. I'm sorry. At this point I'm like, yeah right, okay, whatever. She then responds, no, I'm tired of lying, I've been seeing this person online for the last year and a half. At this moment I am in utter disbelief. She proceeds to tell me everything. I'll spare the details for anonymity's sake. But I am laying on my sister's couch currently at 1 a.m. I have an apartment I will be moving into within the next 2 weeks. It's been rough. We've talked since then, as we have a child together. I see my little girl every day. There's no chance of reconciliation because this isn't the first, second, or third time it's happened on her end. But it will be the last. TL, Dr. Tifu, by implying her honesty and making a joke when she thought I found her out. Update, I didn't think I'd get this much love. Thanks Redditors. Yes, I'm sure the child is mine. There was a paternity test. Keep in mind, her best friend had died around the time this last affair started. She also refused to go to therapy because it doesn't work for her. So no medication for depression or anything. But she's curated a perfect online persona that allows her to mask her flaws so everyone only sees what she wants them to see. This isn't to disrespect her, but it is who she is, and she has states as such. I get along with her at this point so I can see my daughter, and she hasn't broken or sold any of my possessions, so I'm happy there too. I know this could be worse, but I just thought she was my soulmate. Update 2, she claims it's only an online thing and is for her mental stimulation. Someone mentioned the polyamory thing. She tried to also get me on board with this, citing I could do the same. Maybe I'm old-fashioned, but I find the old couple together forever cute. I wanted that for us, not a group. Update 3, so last night I come by after work to spend a little time with my daughter, help her with homework, etc., right? Her mom asks me what my game plan was for the night. I tell her I've really got to go and find some documents for work that I seem to have misplaced, but I can come back if she would like to talk about the separation and make heads or tails of the entire thing, like what I'm taking when I move, etc. So she is aware I'm coming back over. It's about an hour and a half later and I go back by, and I knock and then proceed to walk into the house, and she is video chatting this guy, having phone sex.